Good morning. This is Kelley Hobart from Alpaca Direct, and we're here today. We're going to be talking about gifts that we can make in under an hour. And boy, did that offer a challenge for me because almost all these knitted items take more than an hour. So anyway, so here I go. So I had a few ideas, and also I wanted to talk about the sound on the Facebook Live. If you're hearing it okay, go ahead and let us know that you are. And if you're having problems, let us know as well, because we're trying a new speaker system, and that system, we just want to check and make sure it works. And also at the end, when we're doing the end of our Facebook Live event, the button on our phone, I guess they did an upgrade on our actual phone, and it made it hard for it to be able to turn it off. So if you see me standing here at the end and I'm not really saying anything, Jim's trying to get the Facebook Live to end, and the phone itself is not wanting to turn off. And hopefully they'll be fixing that problem soon, but until then it'll be a problem that we'll have to just kind of work with as we go along. So anyways, today, like I said, I'm talking about different gifts that we can make in under an hour. So one of the first things that I thought about is, you remember way back when I had the Facebook Live and I made these little leaves? I put them together and I was thinking I can use them for embellishments for the top of gifts. And I just did a little chain stitch, and this was a free pattern on Ravelry. And so those are little embellishments that I made for the top of gifts. And I was thinking that maybe when I give knitted items to people, I can put this on the top of their gifts, so it kind of tells them that inside will be a knitted gift for them. So it was kind of like a little tradition that I wanted to start. And here is another one of those where I did little trees. And I thought those would be really cute on the top of gifts, so I'll be putting those on my gifts. And then I thought, oh my goodness, you know how often we give gift cards, right? We give a ton of gift cards because our family members are picky, and it's hard to decide what to get them without having to ask them and actually tell them what they're getting. So what I thought about is this wonderful pattern, and it looks like an envelope, and I found this on Ravelry. And it was just a picture. The pattern isn't readily available, but I really like the writing on it like that, and then I like the little stamp and the stars on it. So I'll be doing that with mine. And what I did, I took this picture and I went ahead and cast on 10 stitches using a bulky weight yarn and number 9 needles, and I made my own little gift card. So what I did is I kept knitting. I cast on using Judy's Magic Cast On with 10 stitches on each side, right? And here's what it looks like. It looks like a little envelope. But if you look on the back right here, see where I can write the names and do all the decoration on it? And I just made it with a little tiny button. And let me show you how this works. And you can make these really easily at home. And I just made it so that the card fits right nice inside there.
I don't think they saw that, so go ahead and push it.
So I made this so the card fits right inside. And then I have one row of ribbing, and then this next row was a bind off row. So it was a knit one, purl one across here, and then when I came around again, it was a bind off. Do you see that? And it looks like a little envelope. And then to do this side of the envelope, when I came around here, I had to bind off these stitches, and then I had the one stitch left, so I had to put that stitch on the needle, and I went ahead and used it as a knit across here. So I went ahead and knit across, and then purled, and then I knit one, and then slip, slip, knit, and then knit all the way to the other side until I had 3 stitches left, and then knit 2 together and knit 1. Then I would purl around and then decrease again, and then purl around and decrease again. And that's how I made my envelope until I had about 5 stitches left. And then I would do a slip, slip, knit, yarn over, knit 2 together, and then purl back, and then I bound off. Isn't that cool? And you just button right on the top here, and you kind of just play with it as you go and get something that you like the look of it. But those are little gift card holders, and they're knitted. I think they're pretty cool. And you could even turn those into nice little ornaments when you're done. You could put a little sleeve of cardboard in it and put them on the tree.
So Linda says hi, and Raina says
good morning.
Hi.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, it's so nice. These you can make in like about a half an hour. I timed it maybe 20 minutes to a half an hour. And so they're pretty quick. And they're using that Judy's Magic cast on, which we all love, for our toe-up socks. And then this was a sideways one. And then I'm just going to do my writing on that side. So that's very cool.
Hey, Kel.
Yes.
So we got a new microphone, so if they can just let us know if they can hear you okay and if it sounds a little better.
Yes, if you're having any problems at all, let us know, because we want to make sure that you can hear us and enjoy, you know, as we're going along, and maybe learn something, and maybe you can share with us and share with your friends so that we can all learn something as I go along. Now, this Norland hat pattern by Sarah Birch was a pattern that I completed, it's been over a week now. I don't even remember. It's kind of a blur. But this is a lovely knit hat with Madeline Tosh twist light and a little bit of Royal Alpaca from Blue Sky Royal Alpaca. Now I am doing my mitts. These are going to be mittens because I wasn't sure how much, if I had enough yarn left, so I had to leave the Latvian braid that actually calls for in the pattern because I wasn't sure. And now that I look back at it, I would have had enough yarn. And it all stemmed for the reason that this is a fingering weight yarn, but it's 282 yards or so. And the pattern that Sarah was knitting actually called for 437. So I'm going, oh my, I don't know if I'll have enough yarn. So I started taking stuff off to make the pattern a little less yarn intensive. And I don't think that I needed to, because I think it's going to be fine without it. So these mittens are coming along great, and I have my thumb stitches on waste yarn, and here I am. I'm ready for my decreases at the top. Now I rejigged the cable pattern a bit. It looks different than the one that's in the picture, and that was simply because on her thumb stitches, she had on her thumb, the thumb that she did, she had 30 stitches by the end of the thumb, and that was going to be too big for my thumb. So I did 24 stitches. So I had to change the rate of increases and add a few simple knit rows without increases to make up for the lack of increased sections, because she had to increase 3 more times than I did. So I had to add some extra rows in there. So it involved a little bit of work, and it's all good. What I did is took here's how I changed it. One second, Jim, let me see here. I want to make sure I have that marked. So this is my increases for my thumb.
So how did you do that? Explain what you did.
I used the computer. I had to change the rate of increases. So I do an increase and then 2 rest rows, and then an increase and 2 rest rows. And then right here at the top, I increased every other round, and that gave me the length that I needed for my thumb from here to here to be able to have it actually work for the length that I needed for my hand. In the pattern, everything would have been a little bit too big and a little bit too sloppy. I probably would have made a mitten that would fit someone much larger than me, and when I'm wearing my mittens, I don't want them to fall off because I'm cold, of course. I would like to keep them on, but if they're too big, that makes it a little hard. So anyway, all right, going on. Another thing that I wanted to mention, I didn't have it. Maybe I have it in here. It's not in here. My little twirly thing. Do you know how you guys had asked before about making little twisty ribbons? And I had said, if you want to make little twisty ribbons to kind of made out of yarn to go on the gifts with these, how do I do this to actually make it curl, the ribbon curl? So I was messing around with it this morning, and I actually made a sample for you, but unfortunately, I don't know where it is. It got left at home or some such thing. But what I learned by doing that is you cast on as many stitches as you want, and I would say cast on more rather than less, because this curling effect takes up a lot of stitches. To get any length at all, you have to have a lot of stitches. So what you would do is you would just take your needle size that you're going to use for your yarn. It doesn't need to be any bigger or any smaller, whatever the normal gauge would be for your sock yarn. So I had my needles, and then I'd cast on 60 stitches. And then you go back on the first row and you go knit front and back, knit front and back, all the way across that whole row, right? Then you turn, and on the next row you would bind off. And boy, you don't have to change needle sizes, you don't have to do anything, you just bind off, and it makes a really curly ribbon for your gift. So if you're thinking that you want to make this spiral ribbon, you can make it out of yarn using the technique that I told you. Cast on, knit front and back all the way across the row, then turn and bind off. And you don't have to change your needle size at all. Before I had said that you would cast on with a small needle and bind off with a larger needle or what have you, and that wasn't consistent. Sometimes I would get the curly effect, and sometimes it wouldn't be as curly. I would have to kind of coax it to curl. So using this method, you should have great success doing that.
Just bring it next week, you can show them.
Yeah, I'll bring it next week and show it to you. Another pattern that I wanted to show you, this was a little set that I made out of Remu. They're no longer, we no longer have Remu here at Alpaca Direct. I think they have discontinued that yarn, I'm not sure. It is a possum wool blend. And what I did is, this right here is called the calorimetry, and it's a headband, and it's this right here, and that pattern can be found on Ravelry, and there are a ton of people that use this headband pattern, and it is just beautiful and super easy, and you can make this pattern in about an hour. Now these little tiny mini mitts, I just rigged up these mitts from I just kind of cast them on and made them, because I was trying to make this caliometry pattern and the mini mitts with one skein. So I made it as long as I could and as big as I could, and here's my little mitts. They turned out pretty cute. Yeah. So anyway, that was done with one skein and a little bit of creativity. So as we're going along, if you like what you see, go ahead and press that like button, and please do share with friends, and we can all learn from each other, because you know how much I like learning from other people, and I love listening, responding to your comments and listening to you and learning from you. It's awesome.
Hey Kel, one person said the sound was a little soft, so we can, if they can just let us know, can they hear you okay?
Can you still hear us okay? Yes, thumbs up if you can hear us okay. We want to make sure that you can hear us so you can enjoy the Facebook Live. If you can't hear us, it's hard to enjoy it as much. It'll take a little bit of the fun out of it, you know?
We have a new microphone, so.
Oh, that's so awesome. I love anything that can help people. Another pattern that I saw that just came up on Ravelry not long ago, it's called the Double Thick Cuff Hat, and it's by verypink.com. This is probably from Stacy from verypinknits.com. And that was really cute because it's super quick, and let me tell you why. Other than the ribbing, the double cuff, what they do is they do a provisional cast on, like, you know, however long you want your ribbing, and then you fold it in half. And you do it kind of like you would do a 3-needle bind off, but you don't bind off. You just knit the round to join it, and then all the rest of it is stockinette. So I thought that was a really cool pattern. And then another pattern that I found that I really liked was called Scrubby Dots. And these are just little things that you can either use to wash your face or to use in the kitchen. And they're done using crochet and using cotton. And I thought that was a great pattern. I want to make some of those. I'm going to work on that this next week. And then we have some coasters, and they're felted. And this is a free pattern, and it's on Baracco. It's all I have found it on Ravelry. It's a free pattern. And these are super cute if you see them in the different colors, and it's a good way to use scraps. Just remember that when you're going to felt your yarn, make sure not to use superwash or anything like that, because it won't felt. So you need to just use regular wool like Cascade 220 or the Universal Deluxe Worsted is a good yarn to use. And I'm trying to think of another one that, Lamb's Pride would be fantastic. So those are 3 products that would work great for this pattern. And so that is totally awesome. And oh, I wanted to just bring up a little thing. These N20s, I told you that they are our favorite sock that we have here at Alpaca Direct, and
Extreme boot socks.
and yes, they're called Extreme Boot Socks. And we have a whole new shipment coming in either today or tomorrow, right, Jim?
Mm-hmm.
And so, for those of you that haven't been able to get the sizes or colors that you wanted because they've sold out, we are having another shipment come in within approximately the next 24 hours. Okay. So, oh, a couple gift items on Alpaca Direct for those of you that want to have little gifts that you can give your knitting friends. I really love these Pearl Smith stitch markers, and they have a little necklace, and you can actually wear them as jewelry. They're beautiful with freshwater pearls, and they're not super expensive. It's really a reasonably priced item, and then you can take it with you when you go traveling, and if you ever need a stitch marker, there it is. You're wearing it on your neck. Those make great gifts, and you can buy them either individually or you can buy them in the little case. So you can look for those on Alpaca Direct. And also, I wanted to, this is just a very few of the shawl pins that we carry. And these are beautiful shawl pins. Do you see the little sheep? And here's the same little sheep. They look a little different. Totally beautiful. And I wanted to point that out. And then also we have these lovely yarn cozies. And what these yarn cozies are for is, say that you're knitting along and you don't want your yarn to look like that. You can put your yarn inside these cozies and they don't get tangled around each other so much. So these make great gifts for our knitting buddies. And they come in this little multi-pack and they have all different ones. So I wanted to show those to you. And then the Alpaca Direct stitch markers, it's a pack of 40, and normally they come in a pack of 20, so it's double the count of stitch markers, and the price on it is very reasonable. And it comes with a case on it that is reusable, and so you can open this case up. I don't want to do it right now. I don't want to. See, you would open it up, and then you can get to your stitch markers in here, and it's a heavy-duty see-through plastic case that is really, really nice for stitch markers. That way your stitch markers, you can see where they are and quickly identify where they're at. Now, I wanted to go with you. I was sitting here thinking, okay, for our knitting buddies, what could I do that would be in under an hour and that would be really fun for people? And I thought, you know what? We should learn how to make our own pom-poms. So then I went out and said, okay, so where can you get that faux fur that would be reasonably priced? So I went over to Walmart and went over to their fabric department, and I asked the lady if she had faux fur. She wasn't really, she did not understand what I was saying. I said, fake fur, do you have fake fur? And she said, well, I'm here to cut fabric. I actually do not sew, and I don't know anything about the products that we have here. So that gave me a big clue. Okay, probably not the best place to buy our items for the faux fur pom-poms. So then I went over to Joann's Crafts and Fabrics, and I wanted to show you my receipt. Well, it's normally $34.99 a yard, and I bought a quarter of a yard and an eighth of a yard. And the total for those two items was $8.25. Okay, so I thought that's really cool. And they have this, if you look at the fur, it's really nice and thick. You want to find a fur that's nice and thick, right? So, because what it does is it makes these beautiful little pom-poms. So you see those? And they're nice and thick, and you can shake them up and they're beautiful. Okay, and then you can make them in different sizes. So you can make little ones, you can make big ones, you can make all different ones. Okay, those are really, really cute. So I wanted to show you how to make these today. So first thing I did is I emptied out a case of LaCroix. I had the bottom of the case, the piece of cardboard, and I took this into the house. And then I took my tape measure and I found a couple items. I found a glass and a couple of my mixing bowls, the small ones. And I have a 3.5 inch one that I made. And I outlined the glass with the permanent marker and the bowls with the permanent marker, and then I just cut them out with the sharp scissors. But do you see how I put the inches on them so you can see? So these are my templates for my pom-poms, right? And then, so I went ahead and took and cut out. Now remember, when you cut out your items, you want to cut it from the wrong side of your fabric. See how I'm cutting along here? And you want to just cut this part of the fabric. You don't necessarily want to get to, you don't want to mess with your fur. Do you see how I've left the fur intact? I didn't actually cut the fur because it'll just come apart with this base fabric. So that's how I cut it. You cut it from the wrong side very carefully, very shallow, and don't cut your actual fur because you don't want to cut the fur off. Otherwise it'll be short. It'll look like it had a haircut. Not good, okay? And then you can just go to your sewing cupboard or you know what have you and grab some thread. And then you thread it onto a needle and you make it double thick, okay? And then you would keep part of the tail out like that, and you start going around the edges as evenly as you can, not too close to the edge but not far away either. Pretty much as even as you can all the way around the edge. And then what you do is you take these strings and you pull them tight, right? You make it into a cup. Then you would take some fur and just a little bit, not too much. I would start, keep a little bit and then add some as you go. See? And then you just stuff it in there and start tightening that up. And then you would tie it. You want to get the fur out of there, and you can go back with your needle later. And then you would tie it. And I like using a square knot because the square knot doesn't come loose or do anything funky. So you would tie this. Let me squeeze that down in there. Okay. It's kind of a fiddly thing. Come on. Let's see here, I got the hair in the way. Oh, don't tie it like that. Okay, let's try this again. Maybe I'll take a little stuffing out of here. Take a little stuffing out. And, whoop. There you go, stuff those in there. And what your goal is to not get your hair caught in there. And once you get one part of it done, you can do the other side. My whole problem with this thing is I have the needle connected to this till, which is not helping me. There. And then switch sides. There. 1 minute, Jim. Let me just give it a little shake. There you go. Pom-pom. Isn't that cool? I thought that was neat. And then you can share these with your knitting buddies. Maybe you can give them as little gifts. And this fabric right here.
Were you saying they were expensive too?
Yeah, sometimes a lot of places that I look, they're like $21 for a pom-pom. And it's like, oh my goodness, out of this fabric, I imagine with this quarter yard that I made, I probably could make close to at least 20 with that. So they cost me about $1 per one. And then you can just make them ahead of time, and they come in all different colors. This Joanne Fabrics has a multitude of colors. They have red, white, brown, cream, taupe. They even have rainbow colors. And so if you want to really get fancy and put all different kinds of pom-poms on your knitwear projects or your crocheted projects, oh my gosh, you can make these pom-poms by yourself. And they're totally cool. I mean, look how cute that is. And then you can just tie them on and they'll be yours. And if you have the yarn gets caught in there when I was trying to tie it, you just take your needle and and you pull out the extra strands with the needle wherever it might get caught. But I thought that was really cool. What a great idea. So anyway, and for any of you out there that are thinking about quick gifts for your knitting buddies, making these little pom-poms is totally awesome. Wouldn't it be cool if you could make little baby boots and put little tiny pom-poms on the side of your crocheted baby boots with little maybe shoelaces? You know how they have the baby boots that are crocheted with just use chain stitches to make your shoelaces with, and then add a little pom-pom to the end or something. Oh my gosh, totally adorable. Anyway, so I wanted to share that with you.
Helen says you could attach a keychain to the pom-pom and make beautiful little gifts too.
Oh, totally, totally. That was another thing that I was thinking. You can make keychains for, I don't know, I would love one of the knitted keychains for my Harley. I have a trike, and I like that idea because on my trike, all the keychains that are out of there, or at least a lot of them, are made out of metal. And the last thing I want to do is scratch my paint. So making knit keychains is a fantastic idea, so that you don't lose your keys and you can see where they're at easily, but they don't damage your paint on your bike. So that's totally cool. And for those of you out there that are interested in sharing more ideas, we do have our Facebook VIP group, and you're welcome to go there and share ideas there as well. Oh yes, also, we're going to be talking about our contest. And this last week, I had some Eco Alpaca, and this is undyed 100% baby alpaca by Cascade. It's a worsted weight yarn, and let me tell you who the winner was. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the winner,
very bottom.
Oh, was Wendy Wells. Wendy, you won! Yippee! So all you have to do for the winners is contact us with your shipping information, and we can get this out in the mail to you right away, and you'll be able to make your own hat or something beautiful. Oh, this is so soft. I love this yarn. And then the items that we're going to be talking about today for a winner, I chose this actual colorway, and it's called Eco Puna, and it's a DK 100% baby alpaca, and it is a lovely yarn. You can make a beautiful hat from this. So the way that you enter to win these prizes is you tell us a little bit about yourself, post comments in the comment section, and maybe show us what you're knitting, or whatever you want to share with us. That's totally fantastic. And post your photos, and we love sharing and looking at what you're all working on, because some of those projects are so fantastic. We love getting inspired by you and learning from you as well. And don't forget to share that like button with your buddies so that they can get in on the fun as well. And also so they can enter a chance to win. Every single week we have a prize. And this week will be for this beautiful Eco Puna. And it's lovely. It's a lovely, lovely yarn. And other things that I wanted to talk to you about, we're going to be doing the 12 days of Christmas. And what's our special for today? Do you know, Jim?
It's posted. I don't have it.
Okay, so look on alpacadirect.com, and every single day we're going to have a special of some sort. And one day it might be this lovely, I told you about this Blue Sky Royal alpaca. It is wonderful. It's even better than baby alpaca. And then this is the Blue Sky Royal fingering weight in the larger skeins. It's beautiful. And then, we just got a new stock in of our Simply Kriya. And I know this is going to be going on special too. And this is by Haiku. It's super baby alpaca. And what I love about this yarn is it has the chainette construction. Okay, and so normally chainette construction is not exactly my favorite, but with the baby alpaca, it keeps the yarn in place, and it adds a bit of durability to it. And oh my goodness, the halo and the softness of this yarn, and how warm it will keep you. It makes hats that are so soft on your head that you don't even know that you have them on your head, yet you're so warm. I mean, you can be in below zero and you're totally, completely comfortable. And everyone else will be having to run inside because they're freezing. And with this Simply Kriya and baby alpaca yarn, you're not. Everyone else is frozen and you're not. You're safe. So in summary, we were going over just a few things that we could work on in under an hour to make gifts for our loved ones and our fellow knitting buddies. And then and I also talked about my mittens that I'm working on from Sarah Birch, because I love those patterns. It's just a fantastic patterns that she has, and she is so completely creative. Also, we have upcoming event. It's called it's by Kyle Koenig, and this is put on by Skacel or Haiku, and they're using the Haiku Simply Kriya, and it's going to be a colorwork project. I think it's just 2 colors, and you're making a shawl, and you can actually look that up on Ravelry.
On our site too.
Yes, and on alpacadirect.com as well. And you can see what the shawl looks like. It's not a mystery knit along, it's just a knit along, and that starts on January 10th, and it's using Simply Kriya, which will be going on sale on one of these 12 days of Christmas. So if you check every day your 12 days of Christmas, it's going to be using this actual yarn, which I just love this yarn. It's one of my very favorite super baby alpaca yarns that I've ever worked with. I love it. And so that is fantastic. And Skacel always puts on great knit alongs. You know, we just finished that that was a mystery knit along. It's called Match Play from Michelle Hunter. And now this is going to be the next one. So if you're interested in doing another knit along or making something for yourself because you've been doing gifts for a couple months, then that might be a great project for you to look at. So I'm trying to think of anything else. Can you think of anything else that I missed, Jim? No, I think I pretty much I went through everything that I need. All right, I think we're good. And so you guys have a great week. And this next Tuesday, what I'm going to be talking about is how to make a perfect thumb gusset on your mittens or your fingerless mitts or your gloves. And I'm specifically going to be talking about the hole that is created between your thumb and your first finger. So, and how we might be able to knit that and have no hole at all and not have to go back and do any extra seaming or duplicate stitch or anything like that. And so I am going to be really exploring some great tips and techniques for that, and you look for that next week, and I will be sharing that with you, and that'll be at 9:30. But aren't we going to do that, Jim? Is it on the 24th?
No, this is a couple weeks out.
Oh, it's a couple weeks out. Right. I'm rushing things. Anyway, all right. So that's what we're going to be talking about next week. You guys have a great week this week. Stay safe and stay warm. Take care.